Why is a Sigma male, who spends most of his time alone, considered dangerous? Why does his solitude unsettle others? Let's explore this. See, being a Sigma male isn't about isolation for isolation's sake. It's about independence, an unyielding freedom that we cultivate, not from being without people, but from being without need for them. This choice, this path, lets us build something that the majority never tap into, the fortitude of inner mastery. Others may look outward, constantly searching for validation, for meaning in social norms or approval, but we go inward. In our solitude, we cultivate strength, clarity, and purpose. When we choose time alone, we're not running from the world, we're understanding it on our own terms. We're not afraid to question society's rules, to confront uncomfortable truths, or to live without seeking constant approval. And that's what makes us dangerous. Our independence makes us hard to influence, difficult to manipulate, and, yes, perhaps intimidating. People fear it when they're around us, the confidence that comes from relying on ourselves. So, to my fellow Sigma males, remember this: our time alone isn't weakness. It's the source of strength most people can't even imagine. The more we embrace it, the more grounded and unshakable we become. That independence? That's our edge. And if the world sees it as dangerous, so be it. They're seeing in us what they wish they could find in themselves: quiet power. 1. Builds an inner world beyond others' reach. When we spend time alone, we're not idly passing the hours. We're constructing entire inner worlds, complex, layered, and rich. While most people fill their lives with external distractions, we dig deep, layering thoughts, ideas, strategies, insights. It's an inner universe where our strengths multiply. We explore ideas in solitude that would be misunderstood or ignored in a crowd. This depth, this richness, makes an ordinary life seem almost trivial, providing a steady foundation that we can return to again and again. Because of this, when we do interact, there's a mystery, a gravity others sense but can't quite grasp. Our silence, full of purpose, speaks volumes and subtly draws people to us. 2. Blurs the line between presence and absence. This is something we're especially good at, existing between worlds. A Sigma male can be in the room physically, but his mind is in another dimension, exploring ideas or solving problems. To others, it's unsettling, like talking to someone who's only half there, a presence that's almost ghostly. This creates a subtle but powerful effect. Others become aware of our unpredictability, of our autonomy. It's like a reminder that we are never fully available to anyone but ourselves, a trait that can be interpreted as aloof but speaks to our inner freedom. We aren't part of their game, we're too busy creating one of our own, and this distinction both draws others in and keeps them slightly off balance. 3. Cultivates hyper-focus goals. In solitude, a Sigma male can harness laser-sharp focus. No one is distracting us with unsolicited advice, opinions, or expectations. It's just us, the goal, and the path forward, with no interruptions or diversions. Unlike those who rely on approval or cheerleading to stay on track, we're self-driven. That hyperfocus allows us to push ourselves forward with surgical precision, taking steps others miss entirely. While others might get pulled in various directions, we carve out our unique way, focus solely on what matters most to us. This discipline is what sets us apart and becomes a quiet signal to others of our resolve and dedication. 4. Views fear as a puzzle, not a barrier. Time alone changes our relationship with fear. While others avoid it or let it paralyze them, we treat fear like a puzzle. We analyze it, dissect it, confront it. Fear becomes a challenge, not an obstacle. And this approach? It renders us almost immune to the hesitations that bind others. Risks don't scare us, they're opportunities for growth. We see each fearful experience as a step in refining ourselves, understanding that pushing past fear builds unbreakable strength. When people see us navigate fear without it taking control, they're often left feeling a contrast. They see their own insecurities magnified against our calm. We're not trying to highlight their weaknesses, we're simply unmoved by the fears that hold others back. 5. Quietly accumulates knowledge as a source of power. To most, knowledge is a tool to impress, a way to gain recognition. For us, it's a form of quiet power, accumulated without fanfare. Books, philosophies, skills, these aren't things we collect to show off, they're our personal arsenal. Knowledge strengthens our independence, keeps us grounded, and builds a foundation for our decisions. And here's the beautiful part, we're often steps ahead of others without them even realizing it. When we do speak or share an idea, it's like pulling back the curtain on an entire hidden world. Others catch brief glimpses of this depth, often left wondering how we achieved such insight. Knowledge, for us, isn't a display, it's the weapon we keep sharp and ready. Gentlemen, shout out to this incredible Sigma male community. Every like, comment, and share strengthens our mission to master Stoic wisdom and embrace our Sigma identity. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Let's keep sharpening our Sigma mindset together. 6. Unconsciously sparks competition. Ironically, by not seeking to compete, we create competition around us. Our indifference to winning others' approval feels like a challenge to them. It's as if our independence holds up a mirror, prompting others to question their own motives and drive. They see us standing firm, unfazed by their approval, and suddenly they feel the need to prove themselves. By merely existing in our own realm, we bring out others' insecurities and competitive instincts. It's fascinating, this unintentional pressure we create by simply existing, by just being ourselves. Our quiet self-assurance speaks louder than any words, setting a standard others feel compelled to measure up to. 7. Creates invisible routines that fuel progress. People may look at us and think we're going through the motions. But in reality, we've crafted a disciplined structure that isn't visible on the surface. It's seamless, an internal rhythm that fuels our goals. Our progress is often invisible until one day it explodes into something substantial. We're not racing for validation, we're building something worthwhile, step by silent step. While others assume we're doing nothing, we're building the framework for something great. And when we do reveal our work, they're left wondering how we achieved so much without them even noticing. It's that quiet, almost secret momentum that keeps us steady on our path. 8. Explores mental extremes for psychological fortitude. Time alone allows us to explore the uncomfortable corners of our mind, fears, doubts, paradoxes. We confront them head-on. We're not just building physical strength, we're developing psychological resilience. Delving into our own thoughts builds a layer of unbreakable self-knowledge, creating a fortitude that few understand. And this depth of self-understanding makes us immune to manipulation. When others see our calm, our ability to embrace discomfort, it unsettles them. We become, to them, an enigma, someone who's been to the mental places most people shy away from, and come back stronger. This is our hidden armor, forged in moments of solitude. 9. Tests people's authenticity naturally. Being alone, self-sufficient, makes authenticity a priority. We don't need others' approval, which pressures those around us to drop their masks. It's not something we actively try to do, it just happens. People feel they must be real around us because our presence alone is like a litmus test. We aren't interested in playing social games, and that silence speaks louder than words. There's a natural gravitation toward honesty around us, and those who can't meet it tend to drift away. In a world where people often project images, we cultivate environments where only true characters remain. 10. Uses silence as a tool for truth. Finally, gentlemen, we use silence. Silence isn't emptiness, it's a powerful tool. While others rush to fill every moment with noise, we let the silence breathe, giving people room to reveal their truths. It forces honesty, brings discomfort into focus, and exposes people's true thoughts. In silence, there's nowhere to hide. That silence? It's our space for clarity, for truth, and it makes others confront things they'd rather keep hidden. Silence, used with purpose, draws out truths from others that words often fail to reveal. This quiet, invisible strength becomes a mirror, challenging others to confront what they might otherwise evade. So, gentlemen of the Sigma male community, embrace this path of solitude and self-reliance. In the quiet moments, we find a strength that others can only imagine. Our independence, forged in silence and resilience, is our foundation. And yes, it may be misunderstood, even feared, but we're not here for others' approval. We're here to cultivate mastery of ourselves and our lives. We don't need validation or applause, we're building legacies in the background, silently constructing our futures. So if the world sees our independence as dangerous, let it. They're only sensing what they wish they had the courage to find in themselves: freedom, authenticity, and power. Keep walking this path, sharpen that Sigma mindset, and let's continue building a community that values quiet, resilient strength. Remember, our solitude isn't a barrier, it's the gateway to who we truly are, and who we're destined to become.